Rogue One, a Star Wars story. For an anthology film, it doesn't appear to be its own movie, but rather it ties the knot between Episode 3 and the original film, or Episode 4 if you prefer. I know I've reviewed this film already, but since I'm doing this whole Star Wars marathon, I decided to review this again. And if I miss some information and details about this film, please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, Rogue One. Taking place years after the events of Episode 3, but before the original film, Jyn Erso and a group of rebels, Cassian Andor, Body Rook, Chirrut Imwe, his partner Baze, and a reprogrammed Imperial droid named K2SO are trying to get the plans for the Empire's latest weapon, the Death Star, so that they can help the Rebel Alliance stop the Empire. Why? It's mainly because Jyn's father, Galen, was the architect for the Death Star. In the opening scene, we see Galen being taken away by the Empire on the planet... Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you are having any trouble pronouncing that. Anyway, we see Galen being taken away by the Empire, being forced by General Krennic, with Galen's wife Rhaera witnessing it and getting killed because of it. We know that Krennic knew Galen at some point, but in order to get the plans, Jyn had to find Saw Gerrera, played by Oscar winner Forest Whitaker, who protected her as a child in order to locate her father. Their relationship is mixed. They had a relationship, but now it's complicated, and now in only one scene, they have to make peace with one another in order to help each other. But one downside is that because of this, we don't have a huge attachment to these two, so their conflict is all too brief and not very well convincing for me. Our main characters, getting back to them for a second, are Jyn, played by Oscar nominee Felicity Jones. She is actually really good in the role. Strong, determined, and able to give something that the other characters don't have. Hope. Cassian Andor, who accompanies Jyn, is helping to get the plans too. He was a well-established character too. Body Rook, the cargo pilot, has some good lines here and there. Chirrut Imwe, yes, I think I'm pronouncing that right, a blind samurai warrior who was once a protector of the Cyber Temple, but since that temple has been destroyed, they just hung around Jeddah until he met Jyn. He always says, "I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me." He is the closest thing to a Jedi that we have, since the Jedis, if you remember, have all been wiped out, thanks to Order 66. We also have his partner Baze, with a big gun that pretty much blasts anything. The two of them are fine, as they are. Galen is an interesting character too, but doesn't accomplish much. I mean, he doesn't have many scenes, but you can feel his presence everywhere. Jyn and Cassian have a relationship going on in the film, but it is not very well established. However, it does have good intentions though. I can see it trying to work, but it just doesn't. Just do yourself a favor and try not to get too attached to these characters. Once you see this film, you'll know why. Also, on the other end of things, we have General Krennic, who is just an average villain. I mean, he kind of just hangs around the Death Star and just, I don't know, stands there and sometimes shouts things at Grand Moff Tarkin. Oh yeah, that's right. We see Grand Moff Tarkin, who heads the operations on the Death Star. The CG on him is really good. Mostly. They actually did a decent job of recreating Peter Cushing from the original film. As well as the recreation of Princess Leia was well thought out, I suppose. Speaking of the visuals, they are amazing. Great details on the ships, the visuals on the Death Star rising over the different planets are very well handled. It makes the Death Star really threatening, and it works. Not as threatening as in the original film, but still, it has the best intentions. The first time we see Darth Vader, he's in a freezing tube getting recharged or something like that. We see him, it's awesome and everything, and he's only on screen for 3 minutes, talking to General Krennic. And then he's gone throughout most of the movie until the bookend of the movie, which is an amazing scene, I will admit. The other planets we go to are Jeddah, a Tatooine-looking planet, Edu, where it storms a lot, pretty much, a second appearance of Yavin 4, where the rebels reside, Wabani, Bawayne of Catherine, I think, a trading outpost which is like Coruscant, only smaller, and it sits on an asteroid where we meet Cassian for the first time, and lastly, the amazing climax on the beach planet Scarif. All of these worlds are cool and all, but we go to way too many planets with little time to soak everything in. Oh yeah, I should talk about the Death Star itself. See, this Death Star doesn't wipe out the planets in a second like in the original film. It doesn't have that power yet. However, it can destroy cities in one blow very, very slowly. I mean, it can destroy an entire planet, but it's very, very, very slowly. Unfortunately, there are several script errors in this film. I can't even really name all of them, but there is a good chunk of script errors. For example, why was Wook a defective for the Empire? Why was it necessary to have a lie detector squid? And believe it or not, he actually has a name. Bor Gullet. Why? There is also the fact that if Jin is a rebel, then why did she follow whatever her dad said? Why was Jin asked by the rebellion to help find Galen, then later the team is afraid of the rebellion, and suddenly the team comes to them for help? It just seems like there were several things that the script needed to improve on. Also, I know what you're going to say, the controversy over scenes and shots from the trailers not being in the movie. I don't know why you did that, Garth Edwards, but whatever. I call that trailer bait hype, where you see several shots in a trailer and then you get excited and then they don't appear in the actual movie. Why is beyond me. The action scenes are decent, but unfortunately not perfect. The movie is not darker than Revenge of the Sith, but it has a grittier, war-like feel to it. The action scenes on Jedha are nice, the war on Edu was fair, and lastly, the big climax on Scarif is a real treat. By the way, big spoiler alert. If you have not seen the movie yet, then I highly advise you to skip to right about here, and yeah, or just watch the movie and come back. The reason why I said not to get attached to these characters is that everyone dies in this movie. Yeah, you saw the movie, so I can see why people would get angry over the ending of this movie, but this is an anthology film. This movie really only has one purpose: to tell the untold story of the unsung heroes who helped the Rebel Alliance get the Death Star plans. And it does serve its purpose. So, if you're in that kind of mood, then enjoy. However, it does have a few script issues and a few other minor things, like the fact that the attachment to the characters are non-existent, and the pacing could have been improved on too. I say it's a well-made film with the best intentions, but remember, these characters are only in this film. They won't come up in any other Star Wars film. Overall, this film is not bad. I like the grittier version of Star Wars. Well, mostly. I say watch it, but remember, it has flaws with it. But trust me when I say, it could have been worse. I say give it a watch.